Hello Gemini, thank you for joining me here. This is gonna be your monthly reading for month of November, and this is Gemini reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and the cross watcher. And to be honest, whosoever come here, if you're here and watching this is for you. And I wanna thank you all for watching my videos, liking, subscribing, sharing. And I also want to thank to those who have donated to this channel. This really means a lot. I mean, you have no idea. Just getting so much support from you guys, just I feel very, I don't know, belong. It feels nice. Okay. Without any further delay, let's get into it. Okay, as you already know, if you have been watching me, before, you know what, I'm not gonna take it, because I feel like I haven't started yet, because I wanted to finish what I started, what I was saying, that this before I get into this reading, I was kind of thinking about you guys and your energy and all that, and I was getting this feeling of, I don't know, something it feels like lost cause. I don't know what that means, I mean, in this context, but it feels like that. Let's see. It feels like something that you planned for but did not pan out the way you wanted, and way you envisioned, or way you desired. And it's significant to you. It has big stake. It holds big stake in your life. Yeah, I get Ace of Swords to start with. Maybe, yeah, I feel like you need to, something very harsh but very true. It's kind of revealing to you. And not about some external matters, not about some kind of, oh, you do know that person got murdered in I don't know why I gave that example, not that kind of truth, truth about yourself, truth about your own situation. And I feel like this is the truth about the things that you have invested a lot of time, effort, and maybe money and emotion and all this kind of investment you have put, and you thought that this is something gonna bring some kind of solidity in your life. You thought that this is gonna be the Ace of Swords, which will give you this clarity, which will give you some kind of lead you to on your path, but it did not happen that way. It's actually asking you, it's actually backfire in a negative way, but it's kind of put you in a situation where it's kind of forcing you to look into the situation in a very kind of almost like a cool demeanor, almost like a cold demeanor, almost like no emotion attached. Just look into the fact, look into the core fact. That's what it's asking. It's asking for this kind of, like both of them is very kind of, very like Hierophant is like a very earned man, person. It doesn't have to be man at all. And it's like asking for who knows, who doesn't go by much of their emotion or much of their oh, I'm gonna go with this side because I feel like it, or maybe they are close to me, or maybe I like them, or those kind of bias, just emotion sometimes create a kind of bias in our judgment. Those kind of things does not really happen with Hierophant. Hierophant knows the kind of this energy kind of knows that what really actually matters in real life. It is very grounded, it is like very institutional, and institutional means that it knows the structural foundation of the society and what really works and what doesn't work. It doesn't really wander in the dreamland. So like both of them are trying, it's like something that is very, maybe you have been operating to that relationship and to the situation that I just talked before from a very dreamy point of view, but now in month of November it's gonna come to you in a very, it almost gonna feel like a harsh, almost gonna feel like hardcore kind of energy, but it's gonna actually really gonna show you that what's the fact, what's actually happening. Like, okay, emotion, dream, everything is important, but sometimes it's also very important to see the truth without any kind of fabrication and embellishment. I think that's what's happening here. Let me see. I want to get a clarifier. Usually I go with the flow, but I kind of want to get a clarifier for Hierophant. At the moment I say clarifier, some kind of so the Chariot in reverse. The Chariot in reverse. Yeah. The truth is, with Ace of Swords, you are kind of getting to an understanding that this whatever you thought that's gonna give you this kind of forward movement that kind of put you on a path. Like I said, this is the Chariot is all about path. It's like your path, the path you choose to be on. It's not that what others still tell you to do or something like that. It's your path, your own path that you choose with your whole consciousness and wisdom and knowledge and senses and everything, every element of your body, of your being. But this thing, you thought that it's gonna give you that kind of momentum, but it did not. It's actually put you in a very it's actually creating, I don't know whether that situation put you, or that situation you kind of manifested this kind of reverse Chariot energy from that situation. You know what I mean? So yeah, so it is actually makes you made you very unstable means you don't know which way to go, you don't know what to, you feel very confused from time to time, and that's but I feel like that there is a certain sense of, I think your dream, the way you perceive this situation that you are invested so much into, the way you perceived it and the way it is, that's the clash. You perceived it more of a idealistic, for a dreamland point of view, but in reality that situation or that person is extremely straightforward, extremely hardcore to the fact, hardcore to the, okay, this is right, this is wrong, very, they have the situation demands this kind of clear cut sense of what is right, what is wrong. It's a very structural kind of energy, and I think that's the clash, because your dream in your, not your, I'm not talking about actual dream, I'm talking about the dream like approach toward this situation kind of clash with this hardcore reality, hardcore structural, very rigid sometimes kind of, and it's that energy is like colliding with each other, and it's actually making you, instead of moving anywhere on your path, it's actually hindering your movement, it's actually hindering your journey. And I think that's why that Ace of Swords is there. From it is like like the first card, I feel like first card is like I'm setting the tone of this reading, is that now in November you are gonna receive that kind of clarity, like what is what. Yeah, definitely. I'm not saying it's gonna be smooth, it's gonna be hard, but you're gonna go through, you're gonna sail through it. You know, it's gonna be heartbreaking also, because you have, when you put so much effort and dedication into something and then it doesn't turn out the way you actually desire, that's hard to accept. But you're gonna go through it, because your focus is on chariot, your focus is on movement, your focus is on moving on your own journey, on your own path. Anything that's hindering you, and if you know with your soul truth that that hindrance doesn't come from within, that's coming from outside, then you're gonna cut through it. But I also have to say to you that when you are cutting through, this truth is kind of tricky. So when you are accepting something truth, you need to be sure that you're neutral within. You know, is this the truth? That's really, after judging all this, after being very logical, a completely mind-oriented person, did you come to that truth on a very like a very, I don't know how to say it, what's the word, on a very neutralized way, on a very without biased way? Or is this, you just call it a truth because that truth makes you feel good and you feel like, okay, that I'm gonna accept that as a truth for this moment, so because I feel that's what I want to hear. So you have to be, just please check that. Are you coming, which place are you coming from? Because those, if you're just telling it a truth because you want to hear that as a truth, that's not going to help you to move this chariot forward. Let's see. Oh wow, wow, you see, devil. Yeah, I think more than any other person or situation with the devil here, I feel like it's also, you know, I feel like this is also, even though it's a Capricorn card, but it's also a reverse side, a opposite, just shadow side of Geminis, because this is the shadow sides of lovers, and lovers are Gemini. So this is, I feel like more than any other person, you are telling yourself, you're kind of molding the situation or the person that you are connecting with differently based on your own need, based on your own desire. You know, like, okay, let me clarify this. Let's say one moment you feel like, okay, this is more of a spiritual journey. So you kind of mold that whole situation in a spiritual way. The next moment you feel that strong desire for, let's say, about strong desire of lust or strong desire of material gratification. The moment you feel that, instead of stating yourself which one is the true need or true want of yours, instead of like this swinging Ace of Swords to yourself, you are kind of molding. So that's very Gemini, you know, like you're this duality, it's like in its peak form. So let's say, and the moment you feel that kind of lusty or material gratification, the elusive gratified kind of senses, you immediately mold that situation from spiritual to very very instant gratification kind of relationship, or something which is out of situation, you know. And that's why it creates so much chaos, because then the other person is confused, then the other person is not getting on with you, because They were gonna tell you, oh, I thought we are there, but now you are demanding something else. And then you don't know, because you are not sticking with your what you actually need and what you actually want out of this. So you are kind of swinging back and forth whatever you desire in that moment. Yes, and it's kind of creating a confusion, definitely creating a confusion in your life, and it's also creating confusion with others, and they just don't want to be confused, they just don't want to be engulfed in this energy. So they're kind of, you feel like they're cutting you off, but they're not cutting you off for you, they're cutting you off the way you are perceiving this situation and twisting it. I mean, I'm sorry if it is hard to hear, but this is, I just need to be honest here. Maybe you need to hear this. You need to this. I feel like initially I feel like it's somebody else externally, but with devil here, I really feel that this is, you are switching back and forth between two complete polar perception of a situation or of a person, and you are confusing them, you are confusing yourself, you are creating this kind of non-movement kind of chaos. I think right now you have to be extremely grounded, and you have to, sometimes I know you are air sign, I know that you don't want to be bound by rules, you don't want to be bound by, okay, this is this is that, I know that you want to be fluid. But the thing is, right now, it demands from you to demark the situation in a clear cut, that, okay, I know it's hard to do. It's even hard for me to say, because I understand. I'm Libra sun. Like I understand that how hard it is to put something in a box. But I don't think this is asking you to put yourself in a box and say, oh, this relationship is this, that relationship is that. It's asking you to be sure of what you desire and then go from it. Of course, it's gonna sometimes, it's not, like nobody is always extrovert, nobody is always introvert. We always in and out with the energy, but the predominant energy has to be there. You cannot, like, I have never seen a person who is introvert and next day he can be extrovert. He or they can be extrovert, but for a moment, for a situation, but that's not their predominant, that's not their primary energy. So if you want, it doesn't matter if you have a very spiritual bonding with someone, that doesn't mean you cannot be lusty with them. Of course you can be seductive with them. But the thing is, whenever you feel that kind of a turn, you completely surrender to that energy, and then you become completely that, and then that person is like, what just happening? I am ready to go with you with this different journey, but you need to tell me what's your predominant, what's your primary energy is, because that's how I am connecting with you. I can explore all the other energy, but if you make all the other energy primary, then there is no primary. If everything is priority, nothing is priority, that kind of thing. So I feel like with Ace of Swords, it's you need to really decide on certain things, whether it's a relationship or it's a situation or anything. I cannot tell you, because this is a general reading. I cannot really pinpoint what exactly going on with all of you, but whatever that going on with you, you need to put some mark, you need to put some barrier, you need to define something, no matter how hard it is for you to do it, because you want to be fluid. You want to go like, oh, this is that idea, that's that idea, let's explore. Yeah, explore is fine, but you need to build a foundation. From that foundation you can explore. But if you don't have any foundation, you are jumping from one, it's not gonna only make you confused, it's also gonna make other who are involved in this situation confused, and they are gonna leave this situation because they don't want to deal with this kind of energy, and that will make you feel more isolated and lonely. So I feel like you need to do this kind of definitive work, no matter how hard it is. Oh, I'm not gonna take this, but I'm gonna take this. Knight of Wands in reverse. Yeah, like you charge ahead. You charge ahead with passion, you charge ahead with impulsiveness, but this agility. But then you don't know what to do with it. You know, like it came right under Hierophant, like I put it right under Hierophant. It's like one moment you are like all about stability, one moment you are all about focus, one moment you are all about, structure. The next moment is all about impulsivity. Next moment you all about just passionate kind of interaction without any follow through, which is just opposite of Hierophant. I mean, yes, you can have those kind of moments, but then you make these moments as primary as Hierophant, and then it's like it's very confusing for you that where you actually stand in this situation. This is very specific, so but I think someone needs to hear this. This is extremely specific. I feel like almost like doing a private extremely specific situation here. Let's see what else. Come on. You know, it's like that you are like, look at this Knight of Wands. They are like this horse is all energized, all jumpy, and if they don't have any direction, if they don't have any command of the horse rider, then it's gonna go everywhere and it's gonna hurt themselves, it's gonna hurt the rider, it's also gonna hurt anybody that comes on their way. You know, it's like comes, so it's like there's a certain control that's need to happen, and that control gonna come through this definitive modality. Like, what is this that you actually wanting? What is that you actually need? Even though it may feel a little restricted, but that's it. You need to do it right now. Gemini for November, Gemini, November. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, absolutely. It's like it's suggesting you, instead of being Knight of Wands in reverse, you need to be Knight of Pentacles. Focus, Gemini, focus. Even though it takes long time, focus. I feel like there is a sense of impatience is also working in this whole situation. Focus, go steady, but slowly but steady, please. I know that you are air sign. Air cannot go like, what is this? You wanna go, you wanna do things like shoop. But I know this is very hard energy that you need to embody. You need to embody Hierophant, Knight of Pentacles, which is extremely earthy, structural body. You need to. It's not. I'm not saying you need to do it. That's the advice that I feel like that I'm getting out of this reading. Knight of Pentacles, yes. Reverse Chariot, Knight of Pentacles. Sorry, see, okay, here this needs a little bit of explanation. So Knight of Pentacles right after reverse Chariot, upside down Chariot. So it's not moving because you are not focused. You are putting effort, but you are like all over the place, like Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups here, I feel like it's just confusion that you feel like you are not confused. You feel like you know what you want, but the way you are approaching what you want, and the like this duality nature is playing so poignantly that you feel it's like everything is priority, every phase you are kind of putting a face of every putting a face on every little idea that you are getting. It's like, and that's causing this kind of devil energy, that causing this kind of like this instability, like I explained, like the story, like one way spirituality, another lusty, and you are kind of prioritizing the both energy with the same equal amount, and that's where the devils comes in. Because you are like, I want to do so many, but like, yes, you can do so many, but you cannot build a 25th story building if you don't have the foundation. It's gonna fall apart like a house of cards. So that's why you are not moving. It feels like you are like roaming in a circle. It feels like you are like a vicious circle, because the chariot is not moving, because you are not focused here. They want you to focus. Yes, you will get all these seven of cups, different option you can explore. Look at this Knight of Pentacles is directly looking at this and holding the spear in his hand, in their hand. It's like they are looking at it, because you can achieve all these things. You can, nobody telling you to do just one thing at a time. You can be many things in life. I truly believe that. I think it's kind of restriction of a resource, of our talent, if I just put one thing and stamp it on our skin. Okay, this is what I am. No, you can be multiple things, but the foundation has to be there. Foundation. So you are looking, you need to be focused, you need to slow down, be focused, step one step at a time. You cannot have all these 7 cups in one time. Even if even like, let's say, even if you're given a chance, even if you have 7 cups, you can only hold maximum what, like 2 maybe. So one by one, be focused, be steady, and know your foundation. And whether in this situation or in relationship, know that what this relationship is built upon. If you have some certain kind of understanding with your person, or with like people involved in this situation, don't just go other way just because you feel like all of a sudden. You need to consider whether they are also on board. You communicate. You are a communicative person. Sign. You need to communicate clearly, but I feel like you are having trouble communicate clearly because you don't know the clear picture in your head. We're gonna see. Gemini for November. I clearly think this Knight of Pentacles is your advice. You need to embody that Knight of Pentacles and Hierophant. It's gonna be tough energy for you to embody, but we need to go through, sometimes we need to do hard thing in order to really get a good stuff. Yes. This energy, but once you get into this, it's not that bad. Nothing gonna come out. Oh, the moment you say nothing gonna come out, something comes out. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Yes. Again, the stability problem. You are not getting the stability you desire. You want a solid foundation. You really want. I feel your want. but some you are not able to execute it, because these two things are in conflicted. One moment it's like Knight of Wands in reverse and Knight of Pentacles. That's what you need to do, and that's what you feel. And sometimes you feel like Hierophant, but it's just too much of back and forth and creating all this kind of, there is no stability. You really want this, you really want a kind of almost like a like a very domestic, like very domesticated, like in a very calm and secure way. You want that for yourself. You want stability, like in a conventional way. Yes, you want that. Ten of Pentacles and Hierophant goes hand in hand. You want that. You want that structure. You are not rebelling against it, but it just somehow you cannot make it happen, because it's just constant conflicting approach that you are kind of taking in. I feel like I'm gonna just repeat this advice because I'm really hearing it very, very profoundly here. I feel like put a boundary. Make sure what is this relationship about. It's gonna be hard to really follow through and stick with it, but you need to. If you really want something so bad, I can feel that you really want enough. See, I unconsciously I even put this 10 of Pentacles and upward, because I feel like you really want that. Right now it's upside down, Chariot is not moving, but your truth gonna help you. Your truth gonna help you. You really need to tell yourself, what is this I want from this relationship? What is this relationship means to me? Okay, and sometimes if that means that you need to leave this relationship, then leave, or leave this situation, then leave. But you are sticking around and kind of changing your mind based on what serves you in that moment and gives you kind of instant gratification, like a temporary gratification. That's not going to help you. So you need to be focused. Lay out boundaries, define what is what. Even this is going to be hard, but define what is what. Then this stability gonna come to you. But you need to go through this process. You need to go through this hardcore process. Alright, I'm gonna stop here and just take care of yourself. Just take care of it. It's fine. One step at a time. Okay? Alright, take care. I will see you next time, okay? Bye bye.